Hey guys, E10 Sutter from SunBros, and it's time for another how to build video, and today we're going to be covering our number 2 warrior in all of Arena Valor. That's going to be Arthur, and I'm really excited to be dipping into him because I get a lot of questions on how to build Arthur, and he's somebody that I think is going to really help people out. So before we get started, guys, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys give it 2 thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and of course check out our other top 5 content, our how to build, and our Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night live streams. Alright guys, and as always, we're going to go ahead and get started by being on the hero page. We're going to go over who Arthur is and what he does and what makes him tick so that we can figure out best how to take advantage of all his strengths and kind of minimize his weaknesses through the build. Alright, first thing is his passive Paragon. Arthur is blessed by the heavens and gains natural scaling armor. So keep that in mind when we're building him. We're going to put a little bit of a lessened focus on armor, because he naturally gets armor with his passive, so it actually comes in handy. You can build it a little differently on him. His first ability, Righteous Fervor. Arthur powers up, raising his movement speed by 30%. During his next normal attack, Arthur leaps and does additional damage, slows their movement speed by a bunch, and the enemy hero damaged by this ability will be marked for 5 seconds. Marked enemy heroes will suffer additional damage from Arthur's normal attacks and abilities equal to 1% of their maximum HP as maximum damage. So that's not his max HP, if they're at max HP, so nothing really we can do with that as far as building goes. This ability also raises the movement speed of all nearby heroes for 5 seconds. Okay, so that's interesting because it does damage based on their max HP, and it's also magic damage, which is pretty cool. Second one here is Holy Guard. Arthur summons a Divine Blade to circle him, dealing damage, again, magic damage per hit for 5 seconds. So it's 2 abilities that do magic damage. And then of course we have Deep Impact. Arthur jumps up high and crashes towards an enemy hero, dealing a bunch of damage to him and everyone in the surrounding area, knocking them up for half a second. Enemies caught in the blast radius suffer additional damage. So there will be like a little AoE damage area of effect that will continue to do damage to everyone who stands in it. So Arthur does 2 abilities do magic damage. Now they all scale up physical damage, but 2 of his abilities do magic damage, and his ultimate does physical, and he gets natural armor. So that's kind of what we have to play with as we go and see what we want to do to build Arthur. Now, one of the really intriguing things about Arthur is very, very good at slowing people down. His ultimate is a knockup. His first ability does a 90% slow for 1 second. It's got pretty good crowd control for a tank of sorts, or a off tank, if you will. So the first thing we're going to do is actually going to go to a jungle, and this is what we're going to do regardless of whether we build him in lane or in jungle. We're going to take Leviathan. Leviathan gives us 800 HP to start. It's going to give us the awesome passive, Flame Magic. It deals magic damage to all nearby enemy heroes per second, which is really good, and it's going to go up plus 5 per level. So it's actually going to get up to a pretty good amount. And excuse me, I'm tired again. It's going to be a pretty good amount of damage to anyone standing around you. And of course, what we're going to do is we're going to double that up. Before I go real quick, you get 70 HP for every monster you kill, stacked to 15 times. So you actually get another 1100 HP or 1050 HP with this. So you actually max out at 1950, which is a lot of health for any individual item. And it's what I think makes the best jungle item out of all 3 of them. And then we're going to go, obviously, to the boots. We're going to get Gilded Greaves, of course, for a little magic defense. And of course, the resistance of 35% means that you'll take 35% less stuns and crowd control abilities. So if you get stunned for 1 second or slowed for 1 second, instead you'll be getting slowed for 0.65 seconds. Then we're off to defense again, and we're going to do the dual Leviathan Mantle of Raw combo that we love so much. So you get attack damage, which will work with all of Arthur's abilities. You get armor, which obviously make him more tanky. And then, of course, you get the incredible passive, which will be 100 damage to start off and will top out at 140 once he's level 15. No, 140, 160 once he's level 15. And again, this is magic damage. So we get magic damage from Leviathan, magic damage from Mantle of Ra, we get magic damage from his second ability, and of course magic damage from the second part of his first ability. So now this gives us a good baseline of tankiness and damage, enough so that I will actually want to build defense and tankiness the rest of the game. There's enough damage in this build already to really be a big difference maker. Let's go ahead and make him really tanky so that not only does Arthur get the damage that he deserves, but he gets the sustainability so he can stay in there longer doing what he needs to do. Alright guys, in the first tanky item that we're going to be going on Arthur is actually going to be Hyuga's Edge. And the reason why is because Hyuga's Edge gives you a little bit of everything that you need. It gives you armor, magic, defense, and a pretty good amount of health at 1200. But it's the passive that works really well with Arthur's kit to give him a massive advantage in doing what he does best, which is just staying near people. What we want to do with Arthur is take advantage of his second ability, which is the AoE thing with the sword flying around it. It does a bunch of magic damage, and of course the damage we get from Leviathan and Mantle of Ra. So his job is really to stay close to them, and the best way that we can do that is actually Hyuga's Edge. Normal attacks increase the wearer's movement speed by 10%, and reduces the target's movement speed by 25%. So in essence, Arthur is able to ensure that he can stay close to people. Not only does he get that movement speed, but they also get movement speed debuffed. As opposed to an item like Frost Cape that would just take away a solid 30%, this is actually a net gain of 35%, and it happens on each normal attack. So there's not really a cooldown on it. It just keeps going and activating. And that's what Arthur's all about. Even if his second ability runs out and it's on cooldown, we can still burn people by being next to them with his with Leviathan and with Mantle of Ra. So it's actually a really phenomenal item on Arthur, and it starts him off on being a real tanky monster. The next item we're going to be tanking is, in my opinion, one of the tankiest items in the game, and that is Shield of Lost. Shield of Lost gives us a little bit of everything that we need. We get more armor, 360, that's just a lot. That's one of the highest armor items in the game. In fact, it might actually be, we got 360 tied. Yeah, it's tied for the most armor in the game. So, and then we're going to get the 1200 HP, obviously is really good. And then the passive Spirit Bond reduces the attack speed of nearby enemies by 30%. So what we're gonna get with that is actually, like with Marksman, for example, let's say we're jumping the back line, which is gonna be something that Arthur is gonna wanna do pretty frequently. When we're jumping that back line, we get that 30%. So we reduce their attack speed by 25%. We increase our attack speed by 10%. Which allows us to stay right up on them. We're doing that burn damage, and then we reduce their attack speed by 30%, really minimizing and lowering the amount of damage that they're able to output. This also works fairly well on some assassins and warriors. Not that they have attack speed, but it does reduce the speed in which they can attack you, which does indeed reduce the damage they can do to you. So super awesome tanky item, and we're gonna finish it off with one of my favorite items in the game, and what I think is one of the most underrated items in the game, which is Crimson Banner. 200 armor, nothing crazy, but 1500 HP, good for the third highest HP item in the game, behind Amulet of Longevity and Leviathan. But this, what really makes this item special in my mind is the passive Bloody Battle restores 20% of HP over 5 seconds after earning a kill or assist. Now there's a 10-second cooldown to this, but it's not crazy to say this is going to go off twice in a single team fight, essentially restoring 40% of your maximum HP over the course of 5 seconds, you know, split up twice. And it really gives you a pretty intense boost in your tankiness and your survivability. So even when you're starting to go down, you help knock somebody down, get a kill or an assist, you'll be getting a lot of your health back, and you'll be able to stay in the fight that much longer. So it's the survivability and the sustainability of Arthur, you know, combined with the second ability in Leviathan, you know, the burn from Leviathan, the burn from Mantle of Ra, that actually allow you to do that insane AoE damage and allow Arthur to do what he needs to do, which is just to wreck face on backlines and whoever really he wants to get around. So guys, this is the build for Arthur that we're gonna go with. I know it well, it works well. I know the Leviathan and Mantle of Ra thing's been catching on for a while. For those of you who've been following the channel, I've been doing that Leviathan, Mantle of Ra thing for a very long time. People used to make fun of me for it, say it was trash, and now everyone's doing it. It's still amazing. It's still a lot of damage. And you know, I have tested it out. Don't let anyone tell you it doesn't stack. It does. But it's a really great combination. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide on how to build Arthur, not just in what items to put on Arthur, but also why we're doing it, to help you guys learn more about what the thought processes are behind making builds, so that you guys can then make your builds. There is no one cookie cutter build for every single person that plays this game. We all play the game differently. We're all looking for different things from each hero. Now this happens to be what I think Arthur's best at, which is staying engaged, staying right up on people, which is why I maximize his movement speed. reducing enemy movement speed, and of course his tankiness and his AoE damage. But thanks guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, until next time,